Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hop Nerd Live. The phone lines are open 480-877-0155. I'm watching the comment sections. I'm checking your DMs. I've got my finger hot and ready on the answer button on my phone, taking your questions, talking all things human and organizational performance, safety, business, and life. We're talking shop and everything else here on the Hop Nerd Live. Howdy, how's everybody doing today? I hope you are doing awesome. Welcome to the Hop Nerd Live Show. I'm glad that you are joining me today. Thank you for coming back to hang out with me on yet another day of pandemic. I guess that's kind of sort of what we'll call it for now. But either way, thank you for joining me. Make sure you call me, 480-877-0155. I'm coming on a little late today because I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to patch in your phone calls, and it's not going well. So I, as you can imagine, I can't just run out and buy equipment right now. Just about everything is closed. We've had a lot of that discussion over the past couple days about how things are kind of shut down. Yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm trying to pull together what I have to try to make things work, and it's not going well. So if you do call, we'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We'll do some speakerphone, some type of weird action there to make it work, but it'll happen. So before we get started, make sure you head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. Follow along on all things social media at The Hop Nerd. Make sure you follow along on Twitter. It's The Hop Nerd 1 because for some reason somebody already had The Hop Nerd, whether you can believe that or not, but it's The Hop Nerd 1. Who likes Twitter anyways? It's kind of I think it's so 2006. Make sure you go over to YouTube. I post a bunch of content to YouTube. There's all kinds of fun stuff that's happening over there. So make sure you go check that out. Again, I've got my phone here. I'm checking, right? I'll keep an eye out for you. That phone number, again, if you want to use it, it is 480-877-0155. Make sure you shoot me a text, give me a call. If I don't answer, leave me a voicemail and I'll play it back. But I should be able to answer. I don't see why we couldn't answer. We'll just have fun with it. And we'll just go with it. As I'd shared with you, most of you realize that this is a Friday show. Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8 p.m. Arizona. That is Arizona time. So we usually have the Wednesday kind of normal evening show, the Friday late show, and we've decided that, I have decided that over the next little bit that I want to try to do this thing daily, right? And I'm doing it daily because it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun with everyone kind of trapped, in their houses. Everyone's kind of quarantined. I just think that it's a blast right now to be able to get together and do this thing because we haven't had the opportunity to really spend a lot of time together. And I know for me, I've been going a little stir crazy. I've shared that with you quite a bit, that I've been going a little wild and crazy, being all kind of stuffed up at the house. So I just want to do these things daily. They might go for 20 minutes. They might go for 2 hours. Yesterday we went for almost 2 hours, which was kind of fun. It tells you how bored I guess I really am. But yeah, we'll again jump in. We'll have some interactions. We'll have some conversations. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're talking human and organizational performance and safety and everything else. And we mostly talk about everything else, which is my favorite things to really talk about, right? So we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Again, having this conversation going on right now, I just felt that it would be awesome because we're not getting to come together, in groups. We're not getting to go out and hang out. We're not getting together to go out and grab drinks. We're not getting together to go out to dinner. We're just not getting that right now. And I've just had so much fun personally. I think this is more for me probably than it is for you, but it's a really fun way to be able to connect and have a conversation and just hang out. So jump into the comments. Again, send me a text, 480-877-0155. You can call that number. We'll figure out. We'll see if we can make that work. And we'll have all kinds of fun. Eli Helper, you don't have a coffee on your desk. Are you feeling okay? So I drank it already. You can't see it. It's over there somewhere. But there's something hiding, and you're seeing water. So there's something hiding here that's kind of hiding back here. So there's caffeine. There's definitely caffeine here. So I'm usually the green Ultra, whatever it's called, but I went with Ultra Fiesta this time when I bought my 400 pack of these at Sam's Club. So these are great. These are definitely great. So if you're not into these, you should definitely check them out. So I already had the Venti Black Cold Brew so far today, and I've already had one of these. So I'm on my third massive amount of caffeine to the dome right now. And so we've got plenty. This is full. And I brought a water today too. So we're going to have all kinds of fun. It's going to be a blast. So plenty of caffeine, ready to go. Adam White to get some Black Rifle coffee. I like Black Rifle coffee. It's pretty good. The problem is I'm lazy, so I don't like to make coffee that much anymore. I bought an espresso. Let me tell you a story before we go too much farther. I bought an espresso, and that thing is awesome. I love it. It's great. I'd seen all the funny things about Keurigs. You know, people talking about like who hurt you when you were little, right? Why are you drinking Keurig coffee and all that kind of stuff? And I'm like, what the heck's up with that, right? I mean, I'm a connoisseur of good coffee, and while I'm talking, I'm gonna try to fix the camera here. But I'm a connoisseur of great coffee, and I'd been putting off and off, trying to actually get something that was different. And I finally went out and I bought an espresso machine. And I'm like, okay, whatever. This is just hyped up crap. And then after buying that Nespresso machine, I haven't used my Keurig in like 3 months. The coffee, there's just no comparison between Nespresso and the Keurig. Yeah, Nespresso and the Keurig. So just amazing stuff. So I would recommend, if you do not have an espresso machine, you can go out and you can pick one up pretty cheap. You don't necessarily have to go to the Nespresso store. You can go buy and grab one of those off of Amazon, and then you can buy those little Nespresso pods. I use the little espresso ones, and they're awesome. They are absolutely awesome. They have this one that's Nordic Cloudberry. That's just amazing. So if you want some amazing coffee, Nespresso is a good way to go. But yeah, so in the long story there was that I'm pretty lazy. So I usually just swing through Starbucks. I grab a Venti cold brew, black, nothing in it. Or if it's early in the morning, it's a Trenta. And then I usually grab at least one of those a day, sometimes two, and then a couple of these, and then some espresso shots in between. There's tons and tons and tons. I'm definitely caffeinated at all times during the day. Story time number 2. If I look extra sweaty, it's because I am. So part of the delay today was our air conditioning went out. Unfortunately, it's not hot as hell. It's not. That's a definable term in Phoenix. It's not hot as hell yet. It's going to get there pretty soon, but it's not quite there yet. So we're still pretty cool. But still in here, it's about 76 degrees inside the studio, going on 77. As you can imagine, when everything gets fired up, all my lighting is LED, all that stuff is LED, but everything else puts off quite a bit of heat, so it starts to heat up after a while. So I've been in here for about an hour getting ready, dealing with the AC guys. They had to order some parts, so it's out. If I look really sweaty and gross, I'll apologize. I'm just gonna look sweaty today, so that's just happening right now. Robert Vance, hope you guys are staying safe that way. Glad you're passing the time well. These look fun. It's a blast, man. I mean, honestly, yeah, we're doing well. I'll give you a quick status update. Not a lot has changed in the Phoenix area since yesterday. I haven't been anywhere. I've been home. But we're doing good. We have everything that we need right now. We need to probably try to make another grocery run soon. But just to stock up. We've been slowly stocking up on stuff when this kind of started, not panic hoarding like a lot of the turds out there. But we've been slowly acquiring things that we kind of wanted and knew that we needed over the past little bit. So we've been squirreling stuff away. We're doing pretty good. We've got all of what we need. We're very blessed, very fortunate. We've got everything that we need. So we're doing well. Other than the fact that, again, Phoenix over the weekend kind of shut down really hard. There's not a lot happening out there. There's not a lot going on. Most kids aren't in school. I've got a fun and wild 5-year-old right off to the side of me here who stole my broadcast TV. So I use a TV. I'll give you guys all the behind the scenes stuff here. I use a TV to basically pull up. I have like a station that's like my computer and everything that's set up over here. And then I have a flat screen that's routed through all that I can pull up all my controls and all that stuff and kind of sit here at the desk without having all the computer crap around. I keep my MacBook here just to look at your comments and stuff, and I mostly do that on my phone anyways. And then I just kind of control everything here from my hand, right? So I'm staring at a monitor right now instead of my TV. So she's commandeered my television, and she's over here in headphones watching Disney shows, sitting on the couch. Maybe we'll spin around here in a second and take a look at it. But it's definitely, whether you like it or not, is bring your kids to work right now, and most of that work is at home, right? So we're all kind of hanging out. We're making do. Avery, I'm sure, will make an appearance here pretty soon. She always does, so that's a blast. She'll jump over here pretty soon. But yeah, things are going well here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming and hanging out. As I shared with you at the beginning, these things come out on Mondays and Fridays, and there's some plans happening right now. So hopefully I'll get to share some stuff with you about the show pretty soon. That will be really cool. But these typically they're scheduled. Let me put it there. They're scheduled for Mondays, and what the heck am I saying? They're scheduled for Wednesdays and Fridays. There we go. I've been locked in the house too long, if you can't tell. Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8. Fridays are late show, and these things just go for however long I feel like them going. Until when I get bored, it stops. That's fair enough. When I get bored, it stops. This is all about me, if you can't tell. But when I get bored, it all stops. I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, but I usually get bored after about 2 hours max. But yeah, so when I get bored, these things stop. But what I've been doing, instead of just the Monday and Friday shows right now that we started with everything that's going on, this is just fun. I think we're having a blast. We don't get to get together like we have in the past. And this is a great way for us to kind of connect and just hang out and talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. So I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I hope you are too. Again, I've got a handy dandy phone number, if I can find where my screens went to, that you can text me. That's 480-877-0155. You can call that. Again, you can jump into the comments. I've got those right here. That's why I keep glancing this way and I keep glancing this way, is I've got your comments. Eli Helbert, I take you got your webcam fixed. So I did. I don't know if I just watch. Here, let's see. Are you ready? You ready for the magic? Let's see. Magic. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? There it is. Look at that. It works. It works. And the angle's off a little bit. I probably should have checked that before we started, but I didn't. But yeah, so I got the camera working again. I don't know what happened. I think it just glitched. So I just rebooted everything and then it worked again. That's the funness of cheap webcams for you. Again, I'm cheap. This is a low budget production. Other than audio here, you can see the wonderful audio devices that I nerd out on. But yeah, it's up. It's working. Robert Vance, that's great. Yeah, we're doing good. And this is a blast, man. I mean, to be honest with you, just hanging out doing this show. We were doing this before the apocalypse. And now that we're in the midst of the apocalypse, I thought it would just be fun to do this more than what we have been doing. So it's good just to get together, have these conversations. Folks seem to be enjoying it. I just noticed again. I apologize if I'm kind of shaking the table a little bit. I don't mean to get the camera a little wobbly here. Everything's attached to my table, and that's probably not a great thing. I probably need to change some of that. But everything's kind of attached to the table. But yeah, see, with my camera over here now working again, as Eli had mentioned, yesterday we lost the camera, which kind of wasn't so great. But you can kind of see a little bit of my table of oddities there. For whatever reason, the queen is not waving. She must need some solar. There she goes. Maybe. There you go. We kind of get everybody waving at you. This is kind of the table of of fun and oddities and just junk that I like to fill in the screen with. But yeah, so that camera's finally working. You can see all that kind of happening over there now, which we lost yesterday. I was trying to show off some of my trinkets yesterday, and I didn't quite get to. One thing that I did do, because we went down a little bit of the darker path of things, some of my weird things that I'm into. I actually brought in this handy dandy book that I had mentioned yesterday, which is really super cool. Everybody take that in really quick. If you're just listening to the audio of this, we were talking yesterday about Beyond the Dark Veil. And this is a really cool book if you're into the kind of weird oddity things that I'm into. And we were talking about some of that stuff yesterday. This is Postmortem and Morning Photography. I won't flip through it because I don't know if that's okay to do. At least I won't share it with you. You can go look up some of this stuff, but it's a pretty interesting little book. we're talking about some of our morbid curiosities yesterday as we were kind of doing the show, and that was one of the things that had came up. We were talking about that. We were talking about Ask a Mortician. That's a really cool YouTube channel. If you're bored, most folks are locked inside right now, so if you're bored, go check out Ask a Mortician. It's an absolute blast. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So, especially if you have that kind of macabre, morbid interest, such as obviously I do, and obviously Eli does, and I think several other folks that were kind of jumping in the comments yesterday have that same kind of wacky interest. Eli, welcome to the Macabre Hour with Sam. Exactly right. There we go. I think we just come up with a really cool segment. You don't get to see all my kind of like little like macabre kind of trinkets that kind of hang out around here. It is Victorian era photos, yeah. Hold on just a second, I'll share it with you. You can't see all like my Ouija kind of stuff that's all kind of hanging out all over the desk. My Ouija coffee cup is at the house getting watched, so I'd actually brought in this one. I thought this one was better for right now, but yeah, it is. It's Victorian era photos, mostly Victorian era photos. And it's really interesting because as I'd sent the link yesterday. Maybe I'll jump in and try to send it again today if I can get my hands free for just a second. But it's really interesting because it's not only just there's a lot of casket photography, but it's really, some of these things were super staged and pretty wild, like reposing the dead in lifelike situations. Pretty wild. So even some of the folks, I don't want to give away too much of what's in the book. It's not a read. It's just photographs and descriptions. And I mean, folks just staged to look alive, right? And you're like, holy crap, that guy's dead. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, it is nice. It's awesome. It's pretty cool. I brought it in. So I shared yesterday that if you come to our house, this is the coffee table book. So if you get stuck hanging out waiting on us or something in our living room, this is what you get to look at. You get to look at this, and then there's Death and Company that's laying there too, which is actually a cocktail book. So if you both of these, Death and Cocktails, they go really, really well together. So it's a lot of fun just to hang out in our living room and kind of stare at the oddities. Again, if you can't tell, right, I kind of have this thing for the oddities, right? I mean, my table of oddities here, it's kind of hanging out. We had shared yesterday, and it's still here. I haven't gotten rid of it. I don't know if it's off camera or not. I can barely see. Again, my 5-year-old has stolen the main TV today, but also our new era plague mask that we're relying on for protection, right, as we go wander around the grocery store and all that stuff. This is all the kind of fun stuff that if you ever come hang out at the podcast, hang out in the awesome Hop Nerd podcast studios here, you get to play with cool stuff like this. Like, I mean, we got this hanging out. We've got Beyond the Dark Veil that we just talked about. We've got the full table of oddities over here. We've got the P100 respirators behind here that we were just talking about that we're preparing for the apocalypse. Something else that I was toting around that if you want a good read, if you're bored during the apocalypse, this is a great one too. Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is Letters from an Astrophysicist. This is a really cool read too if you want to jump in if you're bored. And then again, back to my morbid curiosity, my morbid sense of humor. This is probably the best one that we have right now. If you want to jump in and take a look at that one. But yeah, everything's going good here. Phoenix is still doing business, which is cool. There's lots of cool things that are still going on, just no public gatherings type of stuff. And those are still happening. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not like going wild and crazy. There's not like military running up and down the streets and shoving people inside yet, at least. So everything's pretty normal here, it seems like, other than the fact that you just don't have anything to do other than stuff like this. Right, so my days consist of home, the studio, and home. That's pretty much it right now. All the gyms are closed, obviously. All the places where folks kind of gather are closed. Restaurants are still pretty open, currently at least. It's all kind of curbside pickup. We had shared yesterday some stuff that's really cool that you can get pick-up drinks right now. So there's drinks to go. So that's really cool. That's really, really cool. I've really enjoyed kind of the margaritas to go. I think that should be the norm. And that's one thing that we were talking about yesterday a little bit, was that there's probably some cool stuff that's going to come out of this thing. That's going to be pretty neat, right? I think hopefully that's some stuff that we actually get to keep post apocalypse, as we continue to go on. Curbside pickup drinks would be a pretty cool thing to keep. So yeah, everything's going good. Sorry, I was just reading a quick message there. I don't mean to give you any dead air space. I try to not give you any dead air, but every now and again I have to stop and think and read. Eli Helbert, I love that shirt too. Hunter S. Thompson was an amazing writer. Have you ever heard of his daily routine? I've looked at some of it. I haven't though. I would have to look to see exactly what you're talking about. I might have, but I couldn't tell you. But Hunter S. Thompson is amazing, wild, weird, wacky, crazy, kind of how we all hope to live our lives. I think it's kind of Hunter Thompson esque. At least I do. Pretty wild and crazy, right? Oh. Hope everyone's doing well out there. I apologize. I've got some messages coming in here. I was jumping in here and taking a look at some of this stuff. Um, Trying to take a look at some of the messages that are coming in here. So I appreciate it. Yeah, drinks to go would be would not be a good idea around here. I don't know if they're a great idea anywhere, but you probably just, I don't know. I think you have drinks to go and then you let God sort it out. That's probably the best way to go, right? Let drinks to go happen and then just run with it. See what actually happens. I think that would probably be the best. It's happening here though, because we have tons and tons and tons of bars that are 90% bars, 10% restaurants, right? I think that's pretty wild, pretty cool. So you got tons of breweries that, they sell like one hamburger and 27 different types of beer. And then they're kind of out of business if you tell them that, hey, sorry, this whole on-premises only thing doesn't work too well during the apocalypse. So to help the kind of local economy keep going, because we have tons of brew houses, tons of bars. Phoenix has a pretty good, pretty reasonable nightlife, pretty reasonable scene when it comes to stuff like that. If they can't sell alcohol, they're losing 90% of their business. So the fact that you can like cruise up, at least, we live downtown. I live in downtown Phoenix. So everything's pretty close together. You can hop on a bicycle and really go within at least, your bubble. There's tons of different restaurants. Excuse me. Tons of different restaurants, tons of different places to go just on a bike, right? So people like cruise up on their bike and they get like a Moscow Mule, throw it in a basket, and then like take off down the street right now. It's pretty cool. I've seen that elsewhere, I've seen that kind of going on elsewhere. I spent some time in Venice. We'd taken a trip to Venice, and that's like one of the funnest things to do. Venice Beach, right? Keep it weird, Venice Beach, to cruise up on a bicycle, right? Go by, get a 6-pack, throw it in the in the basket of the bike, and then go cruise around a weird Venice. It's a lot of fun. So you're just seeing a lot of that stuff kind of happening right now, I think, here, there, and everywhere. I see that, Eli. I'm gonna get it to pull up here. Hopefully we can take a quick look at it. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I hope the apocalypse is treating you well. Again, we're doing super fine here right now. Arizona did have some has had a couple coronavirus fatalities. There's obviously continued with the continued testing. We're continuing to see increases in cases. I was just trying to pull up and see if I could get the current numbers right now, because I haven't looked in a couple of days, so I would be looking with you live, which would be kind of fun, I guess, if you consider that fun. My computer's struggling, so I apologize. We've got Avery sneaking in here to say hello. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi.
Hi.
What are you doing? You get to stay home right now, huh? No school, hang out with me, do some live streaming. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? She's getting to hang out over here and commandeer my TV and hang out on the couch and do all that kind of fun stuff. right? It's a lot of fun, I think. You having fun?
Uh-huh.
Good. What are we going to do later? I don't know. You already did that? You see yourself on there? She gets a kick out of this, I think, more than I do. She's like the live stream queen. Huh?
Doing it up on there.
She's admiring. So I pull this up. So I've got the live stream kind of going over here, right? And I don't have a free camera. I'll show you. I might see if I can spin one around in a second. But I've got my live that's going in over here through the software that I use to control everything. And then what I look at here is I have the actual stream pulled up on Facebook, on 2 Facebook pages, and then over on the Hop Nerd YouTube channel. And I kind of bounce in between. I don't have all the fancy bot stuff that I can like pull comments all into one spot. I haven't quite figured all that stuff out yet. But so she's looking at it, she was admiring the lag. So I get to see what's happening right now currently, and then what pops up here is what's already happened. So it's pretty cool. I just got this to open, Eli. So let's take a look and see what it says. Hunter Thompson's daily routine is both predictable and outrageous. So let's see what it says. 3 p.m. rise. 3 p.m. rise. Okay. Gold. 3:05 Chivas Regal with the morning papers. Dunhill cigarette. 3:45 cocaine. Another glass of Chivas Dunhill. 4:05. Does it say 4? Can't read it. It looks like 4.95, but let's just hope this is 4.05. First cup of coffee, Dunhill. 4.15 cocaine. 4.16 orange juice, Dunhill. 4.30 cocaine. 4.55 cocaine. 5.05 cocaine. 5.11 coffee, Dunhills. 5.30 more ice in the Chivas. 4.45 cocaine. 6 p.m. grass to take the edge off. 7:05 Woody Creek Tavern. 3 p.m. cocaine. 10 p.m. drops acid. 11 p.m. chartreuse, cocaine, grass. 11:30 cocaine. Midnight Hunter ready to write. 12:05 to 6 a.m. chartreuse, chartreuse, cocaine, grass, Chivas, coffee. I think this is Heineken. Does it say Heineken? I can't read it. It looks like it's kind of faded out. Heineken, clove, cigarettes, grapefruit. Got to throw the grapefruit in there. Got to get the vitamin C, right? Dunhill's orange juice, gin, 6 a.m. In the hot tub, champagne, Dove bars, fettuccine Alfredo. That's just crazy, man. Holy crap. That's just absolutely insane. So I think some people probably have that schedule going on right now, I would assume, with everything that's going on, I would say. But thank you for noticing the Hunter S. Thompson t-shirt, Eli. I always try to keep the t-shirt game kind of going strong. Sometimes they're a little subtle. I don't know if folks kind of noticed the one yesterday was Flatten Scruggs, but it was the Sex Drugs Flatten Scruggs t-shirt. So I always usually get some pretty cool comments on that one. The Hunter S. Thompson shirt, I always get some pretty good comments on this. And this is actually the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas shirt. So yeah, I'm always on the prowl to kind of keep my t-shirt game stepped up. It's usually that or Nirvana or Misfits or something cool kind of like that I like to share. So President Trump, the coronavirus task force, give the latest update. So that looks like it's going up right now. I'm not going to leave you to go look at that. They can keep that mess. But yeah, if you're enjoying this stuff, please make sure that you share. The more you share, the more folks we get, the more conversation we get to have. It's a blast. So please make sure you like the video, you share the video, you do all that kind of stuff. We've been having a lot of fun with this thing. I've really been enjoying it. On our Wednesday episode, if anybody hung out for Friday, we actually had Jarrell on. My significant other, Jarrell Belongi, RN, was actually on. I throw RN out there because we're talking coronavirus, and he was kind of talking about a lot of stuff that he's seen in and around healthcare and all that kind of stuff. So that was a cool conversation, and I share that with you because maybe you want to go back and listen to it. And if you don't feel like going back and listening to that one, we'll actually have another one Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday? Is tomorrow Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. It's crazy. The days are kind of all mushed together right now. But tomorrow we'll have another one where him and I, we're going to sit down and we're going to do kind of the same thing. And we're going to talk through just life and the coronavirus and kind of all that stuff that's kind of going on right now. So it'll be a lot of fun. Make sure you join us for that tomorrow as well. But yeah, thank you all for continuing to show up and hang out. This thing has been an absolute blast. The podcast, if you tune into the podcast, it's changed up a little bit, as I mentioned. It's coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it comes out early my time, which is 3 a.m., which is, I think, it's 6, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 o'clock your time right now back east for my East Coast folks. I think we're at the same time as California right now. So what I'm saying is it comes out early. So usually by the time you get up and you hit the road, it should be loaded to your local podcatcher. So please go check out the Hop Nerd Podcast. Follow along, give us some listens, give us a review, right? Check stuff out. Most folks listen to it on Apple Podcasts. I don't listen to my own crap, so I don't know. I guess Apple Podcasts is the best. I usually use Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're on all of those kind of places, so make sure you go check that stuff out. Give us a listen, give us a like, subscribe, follow along. Make sure you follow along on YouTube. We're posting a bunch of cool content over there as well. I'm trying to step up the video game, which is kind of cool. We're trying to step up the live stream kind of game here. That was some of the thought when we finally had the opportunity to move into this luxurious Hop Nerd studio that you see around us. It's been awesome. We've just got moved in over the past week or so, getting everything set up and running, and all that kind of fun stuff has been a blast / nightmare. That's kind of sort of how I guess everything in life that's fun goes. It's a blast / a nightmare, but it's been good. Everything's. Where I was running late, I'm kind of having to adjust cameras on the fly. Again, half the fun of having an awesome 5-year-old is she plays with all the cameras, so everything's never where you leave it at, right? It's awesome. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's make sure you head over to the podcast, check that out. Our main shows are on Wednesdays and Fridays. We've got one coming out. I mentioned it already, but this is just me being repetitive. We've got another one coming out with Jarrell. Jarrell's going to be hanging out with me tomorrow at 5. Other than immediate family, I mean, Avery was always going to be here hanging out with us. She's over here hanging out right now, hanging out on the couch. She's pretending to scream and do something, it looks like. She's learned to be quiet. She knows that she's got to be quiet when we're doing these things. But yeah, if you're enjoying this stuff, please make sure you share it. We're going to keep the conversation going for a little bit. The phone lines are open, 480-877-0155. That's always open. Make sure you head over. You check that stuff out. I'm working on some more camera angles, stuff like that. There's Avery. Avery's back. She's back to say hello, huh? Are you saying hi to everybody again?
Which one is it?
It's this one right over here. See that one?
Yeah, I'm far.
You're far away, huh? Here, you want to do this one? How about this one? Let's see it. There you go. Let's say hi to that one. It's this one right here now.
Very close.
You gonna say hi? Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
So I'm sure.
That one.
Yeah, I'm sure just about everybody out there is going through the same thing. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of the really cool. Here, we're at this one right now. I think it's one of the really good things right now with everything that's going on is that we're getting to all kind of come together and hang out and spend more time with our families that we haven't got to spend with our families probably at least in the past little bit. I know how my career goes, and I'm not special. I think everyone probably has something pretty similar. I travel a lot. I'm here, there, and everywhere. Work keeps me pretty busy. I have a day job, and then beyond my day job, I have this job. I treat it like a job. I have other jobs that are kind of tied to this that I've kind of shared before, but it feels like sometimes I have about five full-time jobs, and I'm good with that. I love it, but it's getting the time to spend together with this one that's kind of hiding behind me there, which you can't see. She looks like she's pouring water on something. Okay, she's pouring water on the shelf, so she's going to get in trouble. She poured water on the shelf, so on her A. I'm sure her initials are back there. But yeah, with everyone getting to hang out at home, we're getting to spend quite a bit of time with our families. I think it's awesome. It's a great thing. It's probably one of the silver linings in this entire thing. I think this and then to go margaritas is probably the two best things that are going on right now. Is the fact that you can hang out with your family and you can cruise by and pick up one of our favorite places to go. There's a place right around the corner from our house that's called Two Hippies. You can go by there right now. You can get your food to go and you can get your drinks to go too. So I think it's pretty cool. So hopefully that stuff gets to hang around right after. And I think that's probably some of what we're going to see as businesses have learned to adapt to this and are continuing to learn to adapt to this. We're starting to realize that we can accomplish quite a bit from home and we can probably balance things out a little bit better with family. And the fact that we can get margaritas to go and not the entire world's not going to die. I think that's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty cool stuff. What are you doing? I've got a 5-year-old that's over here trying to rearrange my cameras right now, and she's about to get in trouble. Somebody's about to have to go to timeout, right? Avery, no, stop. Okay, go. Shoo. I'm gonna have to shoo her off. She's putting thumbprints on the cameras. Okay, Avery, stop. You're shaking the table. Eli, I know you said that you watched the Chernobyl series. What did you think of it from a safety standpoint? It was a nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a book that I've started to dive into back here that's got some of the Chernobyl stuff in it, and it's got some of the 3 Mile Island stuff in it. I think what you really had, and again, I'm speaking totally out of my butt here because I don't know exactly. I haven't studied Chernobyl. I'll be honest with you, I just haven't. But at least I had read some of the stuff in industry's response to Chernobyl. Obviously, you have to take this, number one, is Chernobyl was extremely sensationalized. So take a lot of that with a grain of salt. It was turned into Hollywood stuff. So again, you take the reality and you multiply that by about 20 times to the worse, and that's about what you're going to get from the Hollywood standpoint versus reality. So obviously, but from a safety standpoint, I will tell you, just from watching that, there's a lot of stuff that played out there that we see happen in just about any incident, accident, something like that happens. There was a very chilled working environment, and what I mean by that is people couldn't freely raise concerns. They were quickly shut down and go, "You're stupid. I know what I'm talking about. I'm the senior person. I've been running this longer than any of you all have been alive, and just shut up. I know what I'm talking about." And I think that was demonstrated very well. I think they painted that picture out very well in the movie, or excuse me, in the miniseries. That people just were not listened to, right? People were saying, "This isn't right. You need to stop. We need to stop. This isn't right." And all that was kind of bypassed. And when you bypass voices of reason, you're going to have not so great things happen. I'm the last person that will say that I think that what we've seen there, at least played out in that, is that we really want someone to blame, and there wasn't really individuals to blame. There was an entire system to blame, right? The entire system was to blame. So did it get pinned on a few select folks to kind of make it easy and get the world to shut up and get everyone else to shut up? I think so. I think that was probably the bigger thing. I think there was a lot of lessons that went left. We left a lot of learning on the table, and I say we just as a species. There's a lot of learning left on the table. The design flaws in the RBMK reactors with graphite tipped control rods was insane, and it was pushed to the side because they exactly yeah, and I mean we that's exactly what I'm saying. It's pushed to the side. Organizations, by no means am I comparing a lot of our companies to the Soviet or the former USSR, but kind of sorta, because we kind of do the same thing, right? It's not that big of a risk, and if it gets out, the optics of it would be very, very bad. Companies do that crap too, and it's not safe, right? And anytime that you develop that and you develop a working environment where you can't speak about things freely, then bad things are going to happen ultimately. I can tell you from my time in commercial nuclear generation, and I've spent all my experience has been in the United States, and I have spent quite a bit of time in multiple different plants, and it has been, for me at least, it's hard to compare because all of those environments that I have been in, at least, again, just speaking from my personal experience, have been open, have been honest, to the point that to a fault, right? And a fault in a good way, I guess. But you're driven to really understand that you're driven to understand that your honesty is valued, and that you really need to speak up. So I don't think the situations that we face in the United States are quite the same. You are a protected worker. You have the right to and the responsibility to speak up and tell folks about those problems that are going on if you come across those. Every site that I've been on has had the Nuclear Regulatory Commission there. Again, I've just never felt if I had seen an issue, and again, I don't know why I would have seen an issue like this, but I think anyone that would have sees an issue in at least a U.S. commercial nuclear generating station, from my personal experience, could freely raise those concerns without issue, and they would be taken very seriously. So I think it's way different than what we've seen there, and it's pretty interesting show though. Sensationalized, I believe, pretty sensationalized, but a lot of really good stuff there. But yeah, looking for I'm definitely looking for more stuff to watch. If you have any ideas of anything out there that would be cool to tune into, I can't bring myself to do it yet. So let me share this with you. I have seen this many. Hold on, here we go. Wait for it. This many. See that? Look, this many. I have seen this many episodes of Game of Thrones, and I came this close to turning it on last night, and I decided not to. I don't know why. I'm just an asshole, I guess. I don't want to watch it. Like I know if I start watching it, it's probably going to be really good, but I just can't bring myself to actually actually turn it on and watch it. So if anyone out there wants to try to convince me otherwise, wants to convince me to try to watch Game of Thrones, I'm open to it. I'm definitely open to it. I'll think about it. I'll think about watching it. But I have not seen any episodes of Game of Thrones as of right now. So I'm this close, though. That tells you how bored I am. And when I say bored, it's really just, in the afternoons, we're pretty busy people. I'm not saying we're any busier than anyone else. But we have a pretty packed full routine. So like I'll throw out some just general stuff for me, like my day. Let's say normal, non-social distance, non-quarantined kind of day going on for Sam in our household. It usually starts with, at least me, I'll be up at like 5, maybe earlier, 4:30ish, out the door around 5:30. I go to the day job, do all the day job stuff, on and on and on, everything that's packed into that day. Then I usually get home around 3:30 or 4, and then from there we usually hang out for a few minutes, put the dogs up for a second, put the dogs up, take the dogs out, and then change clothes, go straight to the gym, spend a little bit of time at the gym, hour and a half or so at the gym, do whatever we need to do in the afternoon, take care of any errands that we have to take care of while we're out. And then by the time we get home, it's probably like 8 o'clock ish, right? 7:30ish, somewhere around there. Let's just say somewhere between 7 and 8. And then we get this one in the bathtub. We get dinner cooked, get dinner, and then get this one in bed at a reasonable hour. And then by the time that's all said and done, we're up for just a little bit longer, doing normal stuff around the house, and then passing out, and then getting up and doing it all over again. And so we cram a bunch of stuff in there, tons and tons and tons of stuff in there. So where I'm at right now is I have home, and I have here. So I'm just showing up and hanging out with you guys. So when I get home, I'm like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands? I don't know what to do, right? So when I get home, I'm always looking for something good to watch. So Eli says Game of Thrones is amazing, but you have time to watch it because it will suck you in. Well, that's what we've got right now is time. So I might have to turn it on. I just haven't done it. I've been that one person that's like, everybody likes it, so it has to be terrible. That's just me, right? So I'm just assuming that it's got to be terrible because everyone likes it. But other than that, I jumped in. I've been watching the Chernobyl miniseries. That went by really, really quick. I've seen some other interesting stuff that I'm gonna have to dive into and watch. I am a nerd, so I like to watch nerdy stuff sometimes. Excuse me, my monster is getting to me, but I like digging into some of the nerdy stuff too. So that's a lot of fun. Any type of docuseries, any type of stuff that you see out there that might be something that would interest me, shoot it my way. We're more than open to finding something new to watch. We're always looking for something new to watch. What I was going to look up really quick and see what's happening, I was trying to. My microphone gets in the way, and then my phone won't recognize my face. I wanted to look up the case-by-case breakdown. COVID-19 U.S. at a glance. Total cases, 44,183. Total deaths, 544. Jurisdictions reporting cases, 54. 50 states, District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, and U.S. Virgin Islands. Travel-related, 479. Close contact, 569. Under investigation, 43,135. Total cases, 44,183. This doesn't really give me a really great breakdown of state by states. it gives you kind of a heat map here, and obviously the darker, kind of the more the worse, right? I guess if I can get the camera to autofocus for you. But I would encourage you, go to the CDC website, go to WHO, go to World Health Organization if you're wanting to actually look up this stuff. That's where you need to make sure that you're finding all your information from. Make sure that you're checking everything out from there, or some trusted news sources. It's surprisingly, at least on my phone, it's not super easy to find quick info, which I'm trying to find state by state. So if anybody sees any state by state stuff or has it handy and wants to post in the comments, I really appreciate it. But I was kind of looking. I want to see what our state by state cases are. I know Arizona's had a couple deaths here as of late. I don't know how old this is. This looks kind of old. Maybe it's not old. Let's double check. I just don't want to lie to anybody. So it is the 24th. I'm verifying it is the 24th on my other phone. So U.S. coronavirus cases, Arizona 296. We went up pretty quick because the last time I shared anything with you, thanks Eli, I see that. I'll have to open that one. I've got this one from ABC News now. I finally got one opened up that you can kind of see. U.S. coronavirus cases. I'll have to pull up another one and take a look. I don't want to open this one that you just sent me because my old MacBook here, I just use it for comments, and when I try to open links, it kind of sucks. So we might try it. Let's see. We'll see if it'll open. If my computer explodes, you see smoke coming up over here. This is not my main computer. This is just mostly a monitor for me, and then my main stuff is kind of off to the side here. Live tracker, so it might open. Let's see what this says. There it is. If it lets me interact with it. Arizona, as of today, they've administered a total of 692 tests, positive 357 with a total death count of 5. So that's went up quite a bit since the last time we looked. California has had 27 deaths. They've administered 26,400 tests, and they've had 1,700 of those, roughly. 1,733 were positive, with 27 deaths. Washington State, 33,933 total tests with 2,200 positives and roughly a little over 100 deaths. New York is struggling. I think they've had 25,665 positive with 210 deaths. Arizona's not doing too bad, I guess, compared to. It looks like Arizona, Texas. I'm not saying any place, New Mexico, but New Mexico, you got to remember New Mexico's population, right? It nearly is the least densely populated state in the United States. So thanks for sharing that, Eli. That's a solid source. If you look down in the comments, Eli Helbert just shared some stuff from Politico. If you want to go take a look at what's going on out there. Again, I'm going to share with you the same message that I continue to share over and over and over and over and over, is just remember that it's a time for helping, right? It's not a time for hiding. I get that I say it a lot, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's a time for helping. It's not a time for hiding. We might have to do that at a distance, right? We might have to do that distance, and that's okay if we do. But ask folks if they need help. Ask folks if they have everything that they need. If you were one of the turds out there that went and bought a pallet of toilet paper, ask people if you can share with them a roll or two. It seems like a normal human thing to do, right? It seems like that might be nice. If you're not a total piece of crap human being, I think you should probably do that stuff, right? That's probably a great thing, is to ask folks what they need. And I think that's most of us. Unfortunately, there's a couple folks out there that will make us all look bad as a species. But I've shared this a bunch, and I'll continue to share it. This is an opportunity for us either to show how great we are as people or how terrible we are as people, how great our species is or how terrible our species is. And I think it's our opportunity to help. We need to help and not hide. There's a difference between panic and prepared, right? So be prepared, don't be panicked. There's tons of stuff that you can do. We were talking about kind of the funny stuff a little bit yesterday about, again, I just laugh. I laugh and laugh and laugh because, number one, I go in the grocery store. And the first thing I see is group of ladies, right? And let's start here. Before we even go in the grocery store, right? We're at Walmart. Before we even go to the grocery store, we're sitting in the car. I'm actually on the phone with work, doing some other stuff, waiting to go in. And I see this whole group of ladies come past, in their surgical mask that, number one, we know doesn't do anything. This does more than the surgical mask, right? The plague mask. They walk past and they got on their big gloves. They're all decked out, ready to go. They've been in the store touching carts and touching everything else. This is their protection, right? The first thing they do is they open their car door, they get in the car, they touch the steering wheel, they turn everything on, they're touching everything, and then they go, oh, we left our gloves on, and then they take their gloves off. So whatever was on the gloves is all over your car now. So you're just an idiot, right? Number one, you're an idiot with your gloves. At least if you're going to use gloves, make sure you know how to use them, right? You should probably know how to use them. I mean, as we said, this right here probably does just about as much as a surgical mask does. It actually offers you little to no protection. So you start with that image, right? And we've all probably seen that already. I've seen homeless people that are walking around with gloves and surgical masks on. Stop, Avery. She's pecking at me with the plague mask right now. Again, kids hanging out with you while you're working from home. It's a blast, right? I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world right now. But then you go into the store, and you go down kind of the weird aisles that you wouldn't, I say weird aisles when I'm just thinking survival-ish stuff, right? All the chips are gone, all the white bread's gone, the milk's gone, everybody's got plenty of toilet paper, and everybody's panicked. Like, oh my God, there's no more Cheetos and there's no more toilet paper. What are we going to do? And then you go down the canned meat aisle, and it's full. Like, these turds are too good for Spam. They're too good for sardines. They're too good for oysters. Smoked oysters, right? They're too good for pickled pig's feet. They're too good for all this really heavy, dense, fatty stuff. They've left all the peanut butter on the shelves. But by God, they're going to make sure they get all the cereal and they get all the toilet paper. They're just idiots, right? I think that's I don't know. It's you have to laugh at some of this stuff. I mean, what else can you do? If you don't laugh, you're going to cry. Sam Kronk, last count here in Ohio, I believe, is 564 confirmed cases. You're exactly right. So according to the map that Eli sent over, in Ohio, there's been 704 tests, 564 positives, and total deaths of 8, right? So there has been eight deaths. And I think, Avery, you look super cool in that mask. You look extra creepy if you wander down the hallway here. So our studios are in we're actually in an old National Guard armory. It's a building that was converted into kind of art space, studio space type of stuff. Not necessarily this kind of studio. It's mostly artists, and we kind of fit in there. Not me, right? But we kind of fit in with kind of these transient artists and all this kind of stuff. But it's a really cool building. It's kind of like this curved kind of building, and it has hallways upstairs, downstairs, and hallways that kind of curve like almost like this, right? And that you can see, you can't see, but you can start at one end and walk clear across the building, right? And the lights are on automatic, on sensors. So as you walk through, we hang out here a lot at night, and as do a lot of people because it's artists, right? That's kind of what they do. But especially now, we're here a lot at night. Nothing else going on. And as you kind of walk down the hallways, you kind of get the lights kick on, boom, 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 as you're walking down the hallway, and the sensors pick you up, right? So I'm just imagining Avery walking down the hallway in this solid white dress that she's wearing and this plague mask. I think we could scare the hell out of some of the hippies that hang out here at night, right? I think it'd be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be blast. We might have to do that. Yeah, we might have to do that later and mess with people. I've been threatening to wear this to the grocery store. I'm either going to wear that one to the grocery store, or as I mentioned the other day, I'm going to wear this one to the grocery store. I don't know which one would freak people out more. If I just throw on like a Tyvek suit and like this and like some like cotton glove liners and then like some latex gloves over top of that and some big like rain boots and stuff, I think we could clear out the grocery store pretty quick. Eli, the only thing a surgical mask does... That would be pretty creepy, wouldn't it? Eli, the only thing a surgical mask does is it may keep you from touching your mouth. That's it. Yeah, and that's the problem right now. I'm not going to counter any advice out there. Look,
How are you going to eat this?
washing your hands, not touching your eyes, not rubbing, all that stuff, not chewing on your fingers, all that's probably pretty sound advice. But we have to remember that this disease is airborne, right? You get it by being close to folks that have it and breathing in. So unless you can stop breathing or you can filter the air between you and that through an adequate means, there's really not a lot. Honestly, touching your mouth is like how you get it like this much. Breathing is like how you get it like this much, right? So that's the bigger thing. Again, washing hands, all that stuff's super important. I'm not going to discredit that. But honestly, making sure that you're socially distanced to where you don't have to worry about breathing around folks that might have it. And then if you do have to go to places, I'm not suggesting this, right? Unless this is what you got. But an N95 or something definitely works. The surgical masks, what people forget is that the surgical masks are really designed to protect the patient, right? More than it's not PPE really for the surgeon, right? Or for the person that's working on you. The surgical masks are designed to keep, your doctor's beard hair from falling down into your open chest, right? Or to keep the sweat or accidentally spitting into your wound that he's working on, right? He or she's working on while they're doing your heart surgery. It's to keep all that stuff from them to get down into you. It really doesn't purify any type of air. Again, I get it. People feel like it does something because you're wearing something, and that has to do with PPE in general. There's a big psychological component to PPE. Here's where I'll go a little safety nerd on you. For those of you out there that have seen the hierarchy of controls, and if you've been around industry for any amount of time, you probably have seen the hierarchy of controls. It's that pyramid that shows the effectiveness. And then it gets away, and it kind of starts with elimination and engineering controls and works all the way down to PPE. And PPE is like the last line of resort for stuff that you should actually do, right? Because PPE is the least effective either way. So even if you have really, really good stuff, this requires you to do something to be protected, right? This requires you to wear something to be protected. It's still the worst thing that you can use. Right, the best thing that you can do is get the heck away from people right now. That's the best thing that you can do. And if you're required to be around people, then yeah, probably something like this would be be probably the best thing to do. But yeah, good point, Eli. Surgical masks can keep you from touching your face, or at least shoving your fingers in your mouth. But I guess if you really want to gnaw on your fingers, you're just going to go under the mask, I'd bet, right? But yeah, you see that wacky kind of stuff going on. I still see the surgical mask going on. Please spread the word, right? If you are one of those people that's wearing surgical masks, walking around thinking that it's protecting you, it's not at all, right? And the thing here is that it can actually make it worse if you're not sick, because it can trap stuff behind it, and then you're forced to breathe it in. It has no seal. It offers you no protection whatsoever. So don't do that. Don't be dumb. Don't wear the surgical mask. If you're going out and you're buying survival food, just buy survival food. What's wrong? Go buy a flat of top ramen, some peanut butter, and some sardines, and you can survive for like a month. Kind of this going out buying milk and white bread kick, you're going to be dead in 3 days. So probably not the smartest thing. But so there's a lot of stupid that's going on out there. And that's what I'm more fearful of as I continue to kind of report on things here from Phoenix. That's what I'm more fearful of than anything else. Really is the level of stupid that I see. I'm not that worried about coronavirus. I'm worried about stupid, scared people. That's what I'm really worried about. That's you take stupid and scared, and it's like pouring gas on a fire, right? Nothing good comes out of that, and I keep saying that. Eli Halbert, I wish we had places like that in our area, like your studio is in. A huge place to have a photography studio, and there's a ton of photographers in your area. There's some. Phoenix is just now starting to develop kind of and a really big art scene. There's kind of a renaissance that's going on in Phoenix. So we're down in the arts district. That's actually where our studio is at. As I mentioned, so we live kind of downtown. We're kind of here. If I could pull up, I don't even know if I've got it set up. I can pull up some stuff here. I might have to build a page really fast. And if not, I'll show you tomorrow. I'll build a couple pages to show you some pictures tomorrow of kind of where we're at, and we'll pull that up during the live stream. But I can show you see, I don't actually have it going up. Let me see if I can interact here with it real quick. Let's see if we can look at beautiful downtown Phoenix really fast. There you go. Look at that. There's beautiful downtown. I don't want that. Let's see. I'm squinting across the room to get this to work. There we go. There's beautiful downtown Phoenix, I guess. Is it playing? Is it live? I don't think it's live. Now we're going live. If the camera's up, maybe Phoenix has cut the feed. Maybe there's something really fishy going on down there. There we go. Now we're live. What's that look like? Beautiful downtown Phoenix, Arizona. You can tell it's live by some of the traffic. But so where this is at, my actual day job employer is one of those big brown buildings right there behind that white building. You can see that back there. So for those folks, I think that's us. It looks like us. We're one of the few big brown buildings downtown. But yeah, to your point, Eli, there's some really there are some photographers here. There's some decent ones. The really cool thing in Phoenix is that we're really getting a really cool art scene. So just like from where our studio is at, we have a pretty small studio compared to some. There's some stuff in this building, some pretty large spaces. But yeah, that's mostly what we have here. So just like next door to me, there's an artist, there's a painter. Right down from that, you'll get like the random real estate agent that sneaks in and gets an office here too. They just kind of like the scene, which I get that. But then there's a couple photographers. But yeah, it's cool. It's really neat to see. The arts district here in Phoenix kind of sucked when I first got here. And let me just put it this way. Phoenix downtown kind of sucked when I first moved out this way. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Phoenix has a lot of really cool things going for it, in the fact that downtown is kind of spread apart just a little bit compared to others. It's not like clustered all together, and it's really hard to navigate. So what you get a little bit of now that we have a pretty sufficient light rail and businesses are starting to spring up, kind of fill in some of those voids, some of those gaps in between, you're getting a pretty walkable downtown. And then so from what you just seen on the camera, that's kind of the hub. And then right back from downtown, like down, it would still consider downtown, but right back from the high rises, you have these different districts that kind of surround those. And the Arts District is one of those. We live kind of on the other side of downtown, still in Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, which is called Canal North District. And then you have others like with the Willow neighborhood and some of the historic neighborhoods and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But the Arts District is here. And so coming from downtown, you have this kind of big series of kind of intersections where you have like 5 roads kind of come together in one, and then the Arts District continues. And for a long time, it looked really bad. It looked like a war zone. It looked like it had been shelled out, right? Like empty buildings, nothing there, everything boarded up. And kind of more here recently, they've started to really build, take places like this and turn them into art places, studio spaces, office spaces for folks that are, for more creative ventures, which are kind of cool. There's some really neat restaurants in the art districts or in the arts district. It's a really neat neighborhood because as I come to drive here, right, it's about 10 minutes from the house. I'll pass like a boxing gym that's been here since like the mid 50s, and like one road, like it goes like this 50s boxing gym that's been there for forever, then like an art gallery, then like a coffee shop, kind of really cool like hipster coffee shop, then like a tiki bar that's got like all like the thatch roof building and stuff that's been there since the 60s, and then down to some art working spaces, then to like another gallery, and then like all down those streets though there's paintings and murals and graffiti and like cool graffiti, and like there's one spot where there's like trees go over the road, and it sounds kind of wacky, but they hang like stuffed animals from all the trees. Like it's just a really cool little district in Phoenix. So I would encourage you, for folks that are out there, if you do come to Phoenix, this is a great spot to come visit. If you do come here, let me know, because I would love to have you. I would love to hang out with you. Number one, and number two, if folks come to Phoenix and hang out, we can do this. So if you don't know that, that's part of the reason why we kind of wanted the studio space, is we wanted to set up to where we could actually sit around this table. And we could set up, I mean, my normal setup is me plus 2, but we're equipped to go up to 8 if we want to, and more if we need to. We can figure that out. But yeah, so that's one of the bigger reasons why we wanted to set up the studio, was so that we could have this space to kind of come together. Unfortunately, with all the social distancing, we just had got moved in here when all that kind of hit. So we had some plans to have some folks kind of hang out with us, and we've been kind of doing it over Zoom and Skype and stuff like that more recently. But yeah, Phoenix Arts District is cool. I think, that sounds like an idea, Eli. You might have to go out and try to develop something there. I think, you never know, man. You might just catch on. This building, I would be interested in. I don't know what they paid for it. I haven't looked. Whatever the development company is that purchased it, we clearly just rent here. But the building was built in the mid 50s. It was a National Guard armory. When you pull up outside, it still looks like an armory, which is really, really cool. So it's got the Arizona state flag. It's got the U.S. flag right there beside of it. It just looks like an armory. It still says Arizona National Guard across the top of it, which is really, really neat. You come in, it's got all this beautiful original brick to the building. Again, my AC is not working right now, so if you see me kind of doing this, it's because it's hot in here. All that kind of cool stuff, and then they just sectioned it out. And so there's some really cool folks in here. There's a small business up top that does IT. There's photographers. There's artists. In the back, there's a gigantic main shop area that someone's leased. They do like signs and build cool stuff for events and like just all kinds of kind of creative stuff, which is kind of neat that happens there. So yeah, I think it would be cool to see something like that, especially for photographers, for folks there. I think it would be epic. You see quite a bit of that happening here in Phoenix. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing well. We're just hanging out and enjoying some fun time together, getting to have a little bit of a hangout here. Like I mentioned before, we're going to keep doing this thing as much as we can. We're going to try to do this every single day. You know, I think we're going to try our best to do this every single day. I was running a little bit late today. I was trying to work on some of the phone call system here that hasn't quite worked out well for us. Again, I can't really get my hands on equipment. So it's been kind of a pain to get my hands on equipment to patch through some phone calls and stuff. But just checking text message here. So the phone calls, again, if you want to call in, you most certainly can. If you want to text in, you most certainly can. That's exactly what I was just checking there. You can call that number 480-877-0155. You can text that number if you want to. Right now, we don't have a bunch of really I just lost my train of thought. I was looking at text messages here. I'm on quarantine brain right now. But yeah, we're not hooked up really super good here yet, but I will go speakerphone, figure it out. We'll make it happen. We're having a blast again, just hanging out, trying to do this every single day for a little bit, as long as you guys feel like doing it. I appreciate everyone hanging out and continuing to interact. This has been fun. I'm going to stay on for just a little bit longer. We've been going for quite a while. We've been watching some of the coronavirus numbers state by state by state. Again, Arizona, 357 positive with 5 deaths, pulling that from the Politico article that Eli Halbert just sent over. Looks like California is still having some fun there with this whole thing. New York, obviously, having some fun there with this thing. I'd be interested in your thoughts. Where do you think this thing's going to go next? I think that's going to be more of an interesting question. How are things going for you? Are you distanced? Are you working from home? You can see stuff popping into the screen here because, again, I'm working from home. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get my other camera to fire up here. That's not the one I want. Where's this one at? Let's see. Because I'm hanging out with this one right here. So if you see the desk shaking, if you see stuff, random fingers popping in front of the camera, you know why. You know where that's coming from. That's coming from this one right here that's been hanging out with me all day, which is kind of fun. It's fun. You having fun over there? Yeah, so she started out watching, again, she's commandeered my television. So I use a TV to live stream this stuff because I don't want the computer and all that crap kind of right here. I wanted to, as we kind of developed this space, I wanted it to be a space that we could kind of gather around with folks and actually do like a podcast conversation. Once we get away from some of the social distancing stuff, I thought it would be kind of cool to actually have this space pulled together to where we could do that. And speaking of which, I'm going to have to fix a camera, because I've got one that keeps messing with it. But she had commandeered my TV, so see, there we go. Avery, stop. So when she was stop. Oh, be careful. Stop. So when she's actually hanging out on the other side over here, she's watching the TV, but for some reason she's gotten bored with the TV, and I don't know if that means that the live stream has gone too long or what's happened there. It's not too long. It's everything's okay. Everything's still good with you.
Yeah.
Do you?
Because the headphones hurt my ears because I squished.
Okay. So the headphones hurt her ears, she said. So after she watches so long, so we basically plug the headphones into what the TV that I mostly use for a monitor to pull up kind of news, to pull up info, to kind of run everything in the background. And again, I did that because I didn't want all the computer and crap here. I didn't want all kinds of stuff here. Everything's kind of housed across the room here. But with her commandeering that, I'm forced to using my monitor. And I'm not complaining. The monitors that I'm using are still definitely decent size. I use 32-inch Samsung Curve monitors, so they're still okay. Johorn, I'm currently not working. I have 3 kids who all have poor immune systems. Lucky Luckily, my job is very flexible with me and my family needs. My 15-month-old son's name is Avery. Yeah, did you hear that? There's another Avery out there. That's kind of cool, huh? Avery's going, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool to hear of another Avery. You know, I think it's interesting because there's a lot of employers that are doing amazing things and some not so much. And I think this is a really good opportunity. I've been saying this a little bit from the beginning, that when we see people when we see organizations, when we see companies, when we see whatever, when we see folks out there doing crappy things, we need to call that out. When we see folks out there doing good things, we need to call that out. My employer has been doing some amazing things. I mean, I can speak to what I've seen in Phoenix, and I've seen multiple employers stepping up to really do some great things to take care of their employees, and I've seen a handful of others not so much. Right, so that's good to hear, that your job is being flexible with you. There's some folks out there that unfortunately, that's not the case. But I will say this, most folks that I have talked to, most of the folks that have been in contact with me, have sent me text messages, have sent me emails, all that kind of stuff. Most are getting along pretty good. Their employers are being understanding. And then we have some that are just kind of ignoring this thing and going, no, you're going to go to work. Right. And I think that we need to call those employers out when we see them. Right. I think we need to say, hey, that's kind of sort of dumb. I think it's okay to call dumb. So that's good to hear. Again, same here. My employer has been excellent. My employer has been excellent with all of our folks, to say that, if you're sick, right? But even folks that are just have fears, folks that just need to stay home, that's mostly what we're running into right now, is that folks aren't putting their kids in school. So Avery's been out of school for about 2 weeks now. So that's kind of the boat that I'm in. It's just like, hey, I can't bring her to work. That's definitely not going to happen, especially the times that are going on right now. And most employers seem to be understanding of that. So that's good to hear. How's everything going for everyone else? Please let me know. I think this is interesting. I just got an article sent over to me. Smartphone data reveal which Americans are social distancing and not. DC gets an A while Wyoming earns an F for following coronavirus stay-at-home advice based on locations of tens of millions of phones. That's pretty interesting. So without digging too far deep into this thing, I'll just kind of scrolling through, seeing if I can find a quick summary here. But yeah, that's pretty interesting that we're looking at it that way from data. Let me know. I would be really interested in hearing from folks out there. How's your employer dealing with this situation? I think that would be a really interesting conversation to continue to have. How is your employer handling the coronavirus? Because some are doing pretty great things. Again, some not so much. I've seen a lot of really smart things out there from most employers. Here in the greater Phoenix area, I've seen quite a few cool things, which have been kind of neat. I've already bragged on the restaurants here. There are folks out there. I'm sorry, I've got to continue to be caffeinated if we keep going through this thing. So for those of you that are just joining us, before I go any farther, let me share this with you. This is the gauge. This is the time gauge. So yesterday it was a venti cold brew from Starbucks. And I'll back up even farther. As long as I have coffee, food, and water, and any order, right, I'm good to last for quite a while. I'm okay, right? I can pretty much survive, and mostly caffeine. As long as I have caffeine, I'm okay. So this is the gauge. When this is gone, this is over. Okay, everybody understands that. When this is gone, this is totally over. So hold on. Wait a second. Let me check something real quick. I don't know if I can get. Again, one man show here. This is like the one man band where I'm doing stuff with my feet and I'm doing stuff with my hands. Let's see if we can get a look at how creepy this is. How awesome is that? I was just sharing with you how cool we planned on doing this really cool kind of gag. This is the guest cam / couch cam, and this is Avery hanging out over here in the plague mask, in the in the white dress. We're gonna take her to the grocery store like that later and see how folks go, see how things go. Pretty wild, huh? Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I would be interested in how things are going for you out there. We are closed down in Orlando starting tomorrow. That's coming from Dr. J. Allen. I think you need Monster as a sponsor. I would take Monster, or I would take Starbucks. So me and Starbucks have a really, really interesting relationship. Uh, but yeah, Monster would work. So this is the main, probably one of the main reasons why I go to Sam's Club, is just this. So this was part of our apocalypse preparation, was a couple extra cases of Monster. So it's just crazy, right? There's limits on water, but there's no limits on Monster. There's plenty of Monster. I can survive on Monster alone for quite a while. Give me some saltines and this, and we'll be rocking and rolling for a year or two. Avery's got to get her camera time in here. She got to pop in and get her camera time happening. There she is. She's hanging out in her plague mask and in Eli, Halbert, Avery in that white dress and that mask in a cornfield would be an amazing photo. Black and white, creepy. I think we might have to plan on doing that one, Eli. Whenever you get a chance, when things calm down, we've been planning on trying to get Eli out here at some point. So when things calm down, we'll get Eli out here, and maybe we'll have to plan on trying to take that picture. Actually, I know of a few cornfields here in Phoenix, actually, that we can make that work. Avery, stop it. She's pecking on the cameras with the mask. So if you see my camera angles changing, this is not magic. It's 5-year-olds. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So everybody loves the plague mask, and for sure. So if you didn't hear the story as we kind of first started this a little bit earlier, the Hop Nerd Studio is in a space here that used to be an old National Guard armory. Avery. the Hop Nerd Studios is in a place that used to be an old National Guard armory. It was built in the 50s. I didn't quite finish the story, so this is some new info, but it basically did that up until the mid-'80s, and then from the mid-'80s for another so many years, it basically housed homeless people for quite a while, so it served some pretty wild uses over the years. And then from there, it kind of sat vacant for a while, and then somebody bought it and developed it and turned it into this really cool kind of art space, which is pretty awesome. And that's how we ended up here. Primarily between that and just having to get all of my crap out of the out of our townhouse downtown before I got in a lot of trouble with my significant other. So, and we ended up here. So what I was sharing with you earlier, and I know my stories start this big and they turn this big, but that's just kind of what I do. As you walk down the hallways, being all hipster and kind of new, the building, everything is on timed. Avery, no, baby. Stop. Okay. She's the camera lady right now. Everything is on timers and sensors, motion sensors. So the lights are off in the hallway right now. So as you walk down the hallway, it goes boom, 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 and the lights kind of come on. And that's Avery's hair, if you can't tell. But we had thought we. Okay, Avery, hold on a second. You're looking at the ceiling now. So what we had thought about doing was just leaving her in that mask and that white dress and just letting her walk down the hallway and scare the crap out of the other hipsters here, right? And I thought that'd be awesome to let her do that. And the lights kick on, and she's in this plague mask and white dress, walk it down the hallway. And these poor little IT company that's in, I think we would run them out of the business or out of the building forever. Okay, Avery, hold on. Go chill out for a second. I'm switching cameras. I'm gonna change cameras, and I'm gonna have to change cameras. There we go. I'm gonna go back and forth, so you can't do it then. Hey, Seth Allison, I see you. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope everybody is doing amazing where you're at. It's easy to say. It's usually hope you're doing well. I know things are crazy out there right now. Things are definitely crazy here, if you can't tell, especially working from home. This is insane in and of itself, trying to deal with this. I can't keep the cameras where they're at. I think somebody's going to have to go to timeout. I think that's the next plan is timeout if this if somebody doesn't calm down pretty soon. Hold on. No, Avery. No. You're going to break it. You're going to break it, and then you get in trouble. Won't be good. Promise, won't be good. So again, I hope everyone's doing excellent out there. I hope you're doing really, really well. I hope you're hanging in there. Again, I apologize for the earthquake cameras right now. This is working from home with a 5-year-old. If you get sick and have to look away, I totally understand. I'm gonna have to just keep bouncing back and forth between cameras until she gets bored. I guess that means that when we get home, somebody's gonna have to go to timeout. There we go. Trick her a little bit. See how that goes. Seth Allison doing good. Hope things are well. I hope things are going well, bro. Yeah, things are going good here, man. I mean, I keep sharing that with folks. We have nothing to complain about at the moment. You know, things are going well. We have everything that we need. I hope everyone is doing pretty good out there. I hope everyone's doing well, hanging in there. Again, if I get a little distracted here, it's because I'm dealing with this. I hope everybody sees what's going on. This will be forever memorialized when she's about 16 and I get to show her this. She's going to going to get a good laugh out of it, I hope. Avery, stop. So she's messing up all the cameras to show you the ceiling and everything else. So earthquake cams it is. Give me just a second. I'm going to fix the cameras really quick. Hopefully you can hear me now. Now let's see if you can see me. Okay, now you can see me again. Okay, I hope so. So I'm trying to work with the camera. Say, Avery, will you come fix this one for me? Just you need to turn it back up just a little bit. So we had earthquake cams going on because Avery's had a blast out of basically. Hold on. Let's adjust it really quick. You want to try to adjust it? Okay, turn it back towards me. There you go. Not you. Turn it around. There we go. Now turn it this way just a little bit more. Okay, leave it. No, too far. Too far. Down. Okay, over. There we go. Try to straighten it up. Don't look at the TV. Look at the camera. There we go. Now turn it just a little bit. Yeah, here. Let's not touch it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm crooked. Everyone can see that I'm crooked. So here, let's go. How about we try this one, Avery? There we. Almost. Kind of. Now we went too far the other direction. The joy of a small child. Am I right? But you wouldn't. Exactly. I think I'm having a blast. As I mentioned, we're a really high production. I think that's perfect. Thank you, Avery. Thank you so much. Good job. Now that one's good. So don't mess with that one again. I'll have to fix it again. So again, if you can't tell, we're a super high production value organization around here. But we're having fun. This is again working from home with little ones. This is kind of what you get. I would be interested in how things are going for you. Do you have kids? Are you working from home with your kids? For those folks that are out there that are working from home, for those folks that are out there that are continuing to work, how are you doing with childcare? I would be interested to hear that. I don't know if things are quite as shut down, elsewhere as they are here. Sam Crock, I believe she's ready to go. She is. She's. We just asked, do you want us to keep going or do you want us to stop? The live stream. Yes. Keep going. Stop. She says stop. So we still got a little monster though. So we're gonna stop here in just a second. Maybe she'll go back to watching her show for just a little bit so we can finish this thing up. The headphones hurt. Okay, the headphones hurt. So we're not going to do that right now. We'll wrap up in just a second. But yeah, I'd be interested. Even once we sign off, please send me an email. Send me your stories. Let me know what's going on. I'm going to continue to do this thing daily. Tomorrow we'll go on at our normal time, I guess. I don't know. We might jump on earlier. It's according to what I feel like. I told you I have commitment issues. I'm not committing to anything other than our normal Wednesday and Friday shows. Okay. To our normal Wednesday and Friday shows. But other than that, anything that we do is just kind of extra. Like I said, it's just fun for me that we're getting to sit here, we're getting to hang out, we're getting to spend time together. Sam Cronk, Jody, and Robert locked down. I've been deemed essential. I know what you mean. So fortunately for me, they have viewed us as basically working from home. So I've been able to basically work from home and support as much as I can. I'm going to have to go in and do some stuff. My day job, we started doing health screenings and things like that, symptoms checks, and all kinds of other things that have been smart things to do. I'm very very proud of the organization that I work for with my day job, and again proud of a lot of the organizations I've seen around here. But they were very quick to basically send folks home and say, you have the ability to work from home, and you can and you should, so go. And I think that's really really good, right? And then if you need to come in, we'll figure that out, but you should go work from home. And so they started that a couple weeks ago. So that's been early, quick. That's been awesome. But there's a lot of folks out there that have been deemed essential. So those folks out there that do have kids, I would be super interested to hear how things are going for you, how childcare is going for you. I hope you're doing well. Again, I would like to share those stories if you've got them. If you want to shoot me an email, I can take names out if you want me to. You know that. Just tell me that's what you want, because if not, I'm going to read your name out. But shoot me a text. Send me an email. You can send me an email, sam@thehopnerd.com, or thehopnerd@gmail.com works as well. I always have this handy dandy phone number right there. You can text your questions to 480-877-0155. I'm still trying to figure out the phone call thing. We'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure, but we'll figure that out. For right now, we're just doing call in and we're just doing speakerphone, so it might get a little wacky with some of the sound, but we'll figure it out. At least I'll get to hear you. And other than that, I hope everything else is going good. Eli Hubbard, I've been deemed essential as well. No health screenings or checks. I wish they would, though. We have 200 employees, and all it takes is one. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. I have seen, I can't give specifics, my organization, the organizations that I work around, but I have heard that organizations are having positive confirmed tests. So what I have seen from health screenings is basically there's a certain protocol that organizations will develop, and they'll basically come in before they get through their gate or whatever, their door, right? They'll basically give them a questionnaire, and it's going to ask them, have they traveled to any level 3 countries? Have they done anything like that? Have they sorry again, I've got this going on again. Have they been on a cruise in the past 14 days? All that kind of general stuff. And then basically once they answer that, then they're basically going to go through a symptom check sheet and say, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? Do you have that? And then it's really making it sound like a long process, but it's not. It probably takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and then they do a non-contact temp check. And basically, if you fail the temp check, basically if you're 100 degrees or hotter, or if you answer yes to any of those kind of screening questions, you go home. And then if you carpool with people that answered yes, then you go home. And then you basically have to follow up. In larger organizations, they kind of have their own health people that they have internal. And then for those folks that are external, they basically direct them to their physician to go get tested and come back clear, right? They have to come back clear before they come to work. So it is a very smart thing. It's a super smart thing to do if you're trying to prevent that from getting into your organization. The problem is that you can be going for quite a while and be contagious and not have any symptoms. So to your point and to Sam's point here, Sam Kronk, it is scary because even with that, you could have someone that is carrying COVID-19 come into your organization or work in your organization completely unaware, spread the junk around, which is not good, right? So if you are in a position to where you have come into contact or you have the potential to come into contact with folks that are out there that could be carrying that stuff, you do have to be really very mindful of that. For me, a good part of some of the reason why I just really continue to want to work from home is that, as most of you know out there that know me or hang around the show enough, my significant other, Jarrell, is an RN. They're dealing with this stuff. In one of their facilities. I guess it's okay for me to share some of this information. If he gets in trouble, my bad. I'm sorry, babe. But in his facility, they're getting ready to quarantine a wing and actually start taking cases. I think of recovering COVID-19. So we are around it, kind of, I guess. So I don't want to carry that in. I don't want to be the one at work to carry that in. If it is me, that's definitely, I don't want to be in that situation. But yeah, definitely all it takes is one. That is for sure. So anybody out there, if you're interested in any of that stuff that kind of the smarter things that you can do, I would be more than happy to share with you what I can. I have a lot of information on what kind of organizations are doing currently. I'd be happy to share it with you offline if it's something that your organization would be interested in. Ultimately, I am still kind of a recovering safety dude, but I still do safety stuff. So, um, again, that's kind of my day job for sure, and then human organizational performance, and then kind of my second job, right? This kind of stuff, and then my third job, as I mentioned, it's kind of my consulting and kind of all the general stuff that we do. But yeah, I'd be happy to share that with you. Just let me know. Send me your email. I can send you some stuff if you want to take a look, or we can even have a phone call if you want to talk about what other organizations are doing. If it's something you might want to take back to your own. It's interesting times that we live in. I mean. A couple months ago, who would have ever thought, right, that you would be getting your temp check as you kind of walked in the door to work? Who would have ever thought that you couldn't get your Amazon Prime same day? We're spoiled, right? I can promise you that I'm spoiled. That's a piece of what for me at least, is that's when I kind of knew that crap was getting real. When I went to get some stuff on Amazon, and it was like, what do you mean? 4 days to get here? What WTF is this? And then it kind of hits you, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. Right? That's what's going on. Okay, got it. Understand. So my same day delivery is gone for right now, and that's not so fun, right? That's not so much fun right now. But same day delivery is gone for at least the immediate amount of time. Again, I'd be interested in what's changed in your life. How are things going for you? What are you missing right now? What's the stuff that you really wish that you could do right now that you just can't? I can speak for us. For me, I know for Avery right now, a lot of what we miss is just we go out. We do a lot of fun stuff. We like to go out on the town. We like to go to the children's museum, right? We like to go to the bouncy places, right? We like to go to the zoo. We like to go do all that kind of fun stuff, and we try to do something kind of cool about once a week, honestly. I mean, we really get out and do a bunch of stuff, don't we, Avery? We do a lot of fun stuff. And unfortunately, you just can't go out and do that right now. We were just talking about that in the car on the way over here that actually as soon as we get out of this whole thing, right, we are going to go to Enchanted Island, right? That's the plan. We're going to go to Enchanted. You can see the head kind of looming into the shot there. We're going to go to Enchanted Island, and go check out that. Go do the kid amusement park thing a little bit, because we're not getting ready to do that. We just had a Great Wolf Lodge that was built here not too long ago, so we're going to head over and check that out at some point once things finally calm down. So I'd be interested. Again, send me an email, shoot me a text, sam@thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. Use the cell phone number that's on the screen right now, 480-877-0155. You can text me that. Once the show's over, if you're going back and watching this right now, you can always call that and leave a voicemail. That always works too, and I can play it on our next live stream. If you have questions, comments, stuff that you want to share with folks out there, that phone line is always open, so please feel free to shoot it text. Again, if we're not on the air, your question will be answered. Your stuff will be shared during the next live stream. Again, we're doing this daily for the time being, just because it's fun to get together. It's fun to share. It's fun to hang out. We don't get to spend time together right now, and that's the stuff I'd like to hear from you. How are you dealing with your childcare situation right now? How is your employer treating you right now? I'd be interested in hearing any of that stuff. What do you miss that you just can't do right now? What do you miss that you can't get right now? I can tell you that trying to find steak out here kind of sucks right now, and I'm a steak eater. Like I like my steak, and we're struggling to get some of that stuff right now. We got plenty to eat. Don't get me wrong, and that's what I hear from most is you got food, but what do you miss? What do you miss doing? What do you miss that you can get at the grocery store? What do you miss that you can usually order that you can't find right now? What do you miss doing? How's life? How are things treating you? I'm always interested in what's going on in your world. Let me know. Again, I think for us, the biggest thing that we miss right now, as I kind of hang out here with Avery in front of me, is we miss, there she is. Hi. We miss going and doing our normal fun stuff, I think, right? Our normal kind of fun stuff. Going to places like fun, we call them fun places. So no matter what that is, you can't figure out what that is. I mean, that could be going to the bounce park, the trampoline park. That could be going to Great Wolf Lodge. That's one we want to do soon, huh? We don't think you're going to get to go hang out in a public swimming pool anytime soon, though, babe. I think you're going to have to wait a little while for Great Wolf Lodge. As much as we want to go, we're going to have to. They just opened one here too, not that long ago, and they do day passes. Where we kind of live, we're kind of right in the middle of everything in Phoenix. Because downtown, right? You have downtown. We kind of live kind of on I guess it's the back side of downtown Phoenix. I'm terrible with describing crap like this, but we kind of live back here, right? And for us, we're really close. So the Great Wolf Lodge is like right here in Scottsdale. It's about 10 minutes away. Our studio is about 10 minutes away. Downtown Phoenix, our gym that we normally go to is in Chase Field, which is a lot of fun. So right in the middle of downtown where the D-backs play, it's in Chase Field. So our gym is kind of, here's Chase Field. There's a little door that goes in. You can actually look out over the ballpark from the gym, which is a lot of fun. We're pretty close to everything, but we don't get to do any of that right now, right? So it's basically home and here. And I love the studio. Don't get me wrong. I'm really enjoying settling in here. We're having a lot of fun here at the Hop Nerd Studios. It's given us a lot. At least we got things kind of worked out and got kind of moved in and kind of settled in before the apocalypse hit. So we're doing pretty good. We're living. We're having fun. But the normal kind of fun stuff, that's really what I think we're missing right now. At least with Avery here, I think that's what we're missing. We want to go do the fun stuff when we're trapped in the house right now, huh? We're really enjoying the time together, but we would like to, we're pretty active. We like to get out and do stuff and hang out and go places. And we're like a get out and go when the sun comes up and get back home when the sun goes down kind of family. We're always on the run. We're always doing stuff. And we just don't get to do that right now. So we get to come here. We're live streaming with you. Avery's here with us. She's hanging out with us. She's enjoying live streaming, right? We're having fun. So everybody's got to hang out and see Avery wander around in her plague mask and got to see her do the earthquake cameras. Got to see her do all the kind of fun stuff, huh? She's giving me she gave me the stink eye right now from across the table. You can't really see it. But, hey, Billy Allison, how you doing, my friend? I hope everything's doing well in your neck of the woods. Hope you and yours are doing well back that way. That again, it's as good as we all can. We're doing well out this way, man. That's what we were all just talking about. We're all alive. We've got enough to eat, and we're all doing pretty decent right now. Again, the Phoenix update that I've been sharing. Again, I give you the status update of kind of how things are going here in Phoenix. Over the weekend, things went from kind of normal to really abnormal very fast. The governor shut down all non-essential stuff. So we went from last week of having the gyms open to this week. There's Avery. Avery's got a black things out for you. From last week to over the weekend going to everything closed, and Avery. Again, I hope everybody's doing well working from home. You can see how it's going for me. It's but yeah, we're everything's going well here. But the Phoenix update is, and I apologize if I lose my train of thought. Avery's getting a little distracting here. Avery, stop. Okay, move it so I can see people. Go on, so they can see me. Let's finish up. You bumped my camera around again. That's okay. Billy Austin, we are, brother, and glad to hear you are as well. Yeah, we're doing good. I mean, Phoenix is doing okay. We've got enough to eat. We're hanging out with family. We're not getting to see our friends, but that's why we're doing this, right? That's why we're kind of doing these live streams every day, is to try to get more togetherness, which I think is important right now. But there's nothing to complain about. There's absolutely nothing. Avery, stop. Avery, stop. There's absolutely nothing to complain about right now. Other than Avery ripping the cameras off of the mounts. That might be the only thing to complain about right now. But everything's going well here. We have nothing to complain about. Everything is going good. This is actually a live stream. I know you can't see me because Avery's kind of messing up all the cameras. That's her saying that she wants us to be done. Next time, I'm going to lock her up in the closet before we before we do this thing. She doesn't realize it, but she's probably gonna be in timeout when we get home for this. Are you fixing it? You're trying to make up now? So we're back to earthquake cam. Are we done now? Are you done? Okay, I think no. Okay, we're not done. Okay, hopefully we're done now. Are you done? Okay, almost done. Almost. Okay. There we go. We're good. We're good. We're good. Just leave it. Just leave it. Don't put your finger on it. Don't put your finger on it. So again, I'd be really interested. How are things going for you working from home? Are you actually been able to get some stuff done? Are things going well for you? Are you struggling to get stuff done? Like I said, we've got this handy dandy number here for you, 877-0155. Please jump in, shoot me a text. Make sure you give me a call. We'll take your calls live here on the air. Everything's kind of strung together, so we'll figure it out. This is a one-man show. Like I said, I'm kind of doing stuff with my hands, with my feet, making everything kind of happen, and then we'll just figure all this out kind of as we go. But glad to hear everyone's doing pretty well. That's the thing that I'm finding is most folks that I'm talked to out there. Again, if you see the camera shaking, I apologize. Avery's under the table now. She's under the table bumping everything right now, so she's there. She goes knocking the table again. See, so I apologize. Eli Albert, tell her to hold the book out a bit so I can at least see the photos. Yeah, yeah. So the creepy part is she just grabbed the dark veil book, so it's probably not the best material for Avery to be looking at. She keeps messing with the cameras, so that's what she doesn't quite understand yet. But I think that she's probably not going to get any television for the rest of the afternoon because she's getting in trouble here. Look. Okay, are we done? Are we done? Okay, let's go to the next camera. Well, Avery takes my camera off the mount. She's going to get in trouble because she's about to break it. She's about to get in trouble because she's going to break the camera. There we go. There we lost you for a second. Okay, the camera had come off the mount, so she's taking the camera off the mount. So she's dismantling the studio as we speak. So again, I think it'd be really interesting to hear how things are going for you working from home with your kids. Mine's obviously, I think she broke into the monster because she's going kind of wild and crazy. I think she's going a little stir crazy. We're going to have to wrap things up, I think, here pretty soon. We've been going for a while anyways. Thank you guys for joining in. I've had an absolute blast with you. Again, I can't thank you enough. Everybody that's tuning in and continuing to tune in. Avery, just 5 minutes, baby. 5 minutes and we're done. Just stop for 5 minutes, please. We've been having an absolute blast here, hanging out with you. It's been awesome, and again, we're going to continue to do these things every single day for as long as we can. And again, that's me kind of committing, not committing kind of stuff. Our show tomorrow will feature Jarrell. We'll go on at 5 p.m. Arizona time, and it'll be a lot of fun. We're continuing to do this thing every day just because I think it's important to hang out, spend time together, especially in this time of kind of strange, odd, socially distanced stuff. So please make sure that you take this number 480-877-0155. Even when we're off the air here, that phone line is open. Call in, leave a voicemail, shoot me a text. We'll throw it up on the screen. We'll talk about it. If you have questions, if you have comments, again, I'm interested in hearing your stories. How are things going for you out there? I'd be really interested in it. How are things going with working from home? If you are working from home, I'd be really interested in that. For those folks out there that can't work from home, how are you dealing with childcare? I think that'd be interesting to hear too. Just share your stories. What do you miss that you can't get your hands on right now? I know that Sam Cronk said that he definitely misses normal. I miss normal too. Again, we were just talking about some of the stuff we miss is just going out and doing kind of normal fun stuff. We miss that quite a bit right now. But again, we're getting ready to sign off. Text me your questions. Send an email to sam@thehopnerd.com. Head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. You can check out all kinds of stuff there. Make sure you head over to the YouTube channel, the old broadcaster there. I've got a bunch of other videos there as well. And don't forget, I've got a podcast. I've got a podcast there. So make sure you go over and you check out the podcast. It's the Hop Nerd Podcast. You can find it anywhere that you find podcasts. So check out those episodes while you get bored before you get to hear this wonderful, lovely voice again. And we'll go live again tomorrow. So definitely at the main time. We might jump on and do something earlier too. I don't know. I'm just winging this. It's the apocalypse. That's kind of what we're doing, right? We're just winging it. I'm just waiting for the zombies. I think that's kind of the main thing we're all waiting for right now. But we'll continue. We'll continue to wing this thing. At a very minimum, you'll have me at your normal show times. Avery's breaking stuff in the background. At a very minimum, you'll have me at your normal show times. Wednesdays at 5, Fridays at 8. Those are all in Arizona time. I'm gone. Make sure you send me that text message. Send me an email. Use a handy dandy contact form on the website. There's a phone number one last time, 480-877-0155. Again, I can't thank you guys enough, all of you out there that continue to tune in and hang out and have this conversation with us. That's the fun part for me, is getting to interact with you, and we're trying to beef up that interaction as much as we can right now, just because the wild and crazy times that we're in. Again, it's super, super duper important that we get to have these conversations right now, that we continue to come together, and we continue to help and not hide, and we continue to be prepared and not panic. But we can't forget that we're people, and we need to talk, and we need to hang out, and this to me is a really good way to do it. It's keeping me sane right now. Hopefully it's helping you a little bit. Like I said, I'm selfish, I guess. This is mostly for me, but I'm kind of doing it for you too. So for me, it's just fun. It's just a blast to finally get to hang out and do this. And unfortunately, it's through the apocalypse, but that's what we're doing, right? We're hanging out. Again, text me. Let me know how things are going for you. This is Sam. There we go with everything breaking in the background. This is Sam Goodman. Until next time, everybody, make sure you tune in tomorrow. Keep an eye out. We might go live a little early. We might go live a little late. But until next time, you'll definitely see me at 5. Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, signing off. Bye, everybody. Bye.
So Wendy's, where y'all from?
ISO, Indies, yeah. Live free, speak your peace. Stay humble in these streets, yeah. In these streets. Let's go. Playground parks with the trees and the cars. Brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch. Murals on on the walls for the ones that we lost. Bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store. Subway stations with the maps in the cars. Summer cookouts, uncle got the sandals on. Statue of Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York.
We from the home of the biggie, people blowing they ciggies. And these girls going wild cause they flashing they titties, it's litty.